A reporter for Life magazine once wrote, "Exposure to Sofia Loren is a shattering experience." The year was 1961, and nearly 40 years later, the effect is just as powerful. With the possible exception of Marilyn Monroe, no one has captivated the movie-going public or fired the imagination the way she has. It's no wonder that millions of fans held their breath when she was hospitalized a few months ago. And as you'll hear tonight, Sofia herself was scared. More than a movie star, Sofia Loren is a force of nature, exuding elegance and sensuality, intelligence and good humor. It hardly seems fair, but on top of all that, the woman can cook. So what are we making?
Well, I'm going to prepare for you a wonderful sauce alla matriciana. And you are going to eat it then?
I will most definitely eat it.
Okay.
If there are heavenly moments on earth, surely this is one of them. Savoring the sights and smells of Sofia Loren's kitchen as one classic Italian dish prepares another.
How much cooking do you actually do?
I like to cook, especially when I invite friends at home, because I think it's a gesture of love, you know.
She cooks and has the scars to prove it.
If you see this on a housewife's arm, it means that she cooks.
And her recipe for happiness? Food, film, and family. The greatest of these may be family, but food isn't far behind for this Neapolitan.
We like to be at the table and eat and talk and cry and laugh, and it should be like a ceremony, kind of. It's going to burn if I talk to you.
For most of the year, Sofia calls Geneva, Switzerland home. It was here that she and her husband Carlo Ponti had their 2 sons. She lives a quiet life that fits her down-to-earth personality. She walks every morning for 90 minutes. Exercise has always been a part of her daily routine. But lately, it's also been doctor's orders after a sudden and frightening heart problem last August. Sofia says she's feeling fine now, and her looks, well, they speak for themselves. She's 64. Yes, 64. But she's lost none of her legendary allure. As dazzling when you meet her as the bookcase full of awards she has won for her acting.
All of the men I work with, every man I know, they all say, Sofia Loren, the woman of my dreams.
What about women? They don't send me greetings?
The women too?
Okay.
What do you think it is about you that captivates so many men?
I cannot explain it myself. I don't really know. I don't even think about it.
Do you think of yourself as sexy?
What, to be sex symbol, as they say, sex symbol? I think that I like that very much. I always like to seduce and to be seduced, as a matter of fact, yes. I think it's fun.
And understandably, many men have tried.
What qualities do you most admire in a man?
Honesty.
And what don't you like?
When they lie. Liars, I don't like. I really hate that.
Can you tell when the man's lying to you?
Yes. Well, even if you cannot tell right away, you'll find out. You cannot win if you're a liar. Impossible.
And you trust your instincts about people, don't you?
Oh, yes, I do. Yes. Yes. It scares me, my instinct, sometimes.
You're hardly ever wrong?
I am never wrong.
And her own best qualities? Sofia says sincerity and the determination that propelled her into a movie career that has spanned more than 40 years.
I always thought that determination, it's like a dream that can take you to the moon with good chances to reach it.
And Sofia did at age 26 in the film 2 Women. She played a mother in Italy trying to protect her daughter during World War II. Sofia Loren remains the only person ever to win the Oscar for Best Actress for a performance in a foreign language film. But her own story is as good as anything Hollywood has to offer. Sofia Ciccolone grew up poor, born to an unmarried mother, and raised near Naples, Italy, in the industrial port of Pozzuoli.
You once said, the 2 big advantages I was born with was that I was born wise and I was born in poverty. How was poverty an advantage?
You have to be a survivor. You have to fight for life, otherwise you die. So it gives you strength to be poor.
And how were you born wise?
By being poor, I became wise.
Out of necessity.
But there were good genes inside of myself.
Sofia credits her good genes to her mother and grandmother, the two women who raised her. They kept the family together and alive through the shelling and starvation of wartime Naples.
It was hard for your mother.
Yes, she was begging in the streets for food, and she would stop people if they had something in their hands, but people would split and they'd give it to her.
You had a nickname.
Yeah. Stecchetto.
Translation?
Stecchetto means toothpick. But I was a toothpick because I was starving to death.
Though her stomach was empty, Sofia says she was surrounded by love from the women who protected her.
And this what really saved me, because you can suffer from hunger, but if you don't have any love, I think that you die.
Ironically, memories of those lean years helped inspire Sofia's latest project, an Italian cookbook, her recipes accompanied by poignant recollections.
I think that food and memories, they are linked really together, because sometimes when you feel a smell of something, it reminds you of things maybe during your childhood.
For Sofia, one vivid memory was the time she was wounded in an air raid at age 7.
You were actually hit by a piece of shrapnel in your chin?
Yeah, here. Yeah.
Can you still see? You can still see. There's a bit of a scar there.
Yeah.
But the warmth and aromas of the
Let me
kitchen
taste it
also
first.
bring happy memories, especially of the person to whom she dedicates her new cookbook, her grandmother, Luisa, whose kitchen was Sofia's refuge during the war.
She would always sing me a song saying that you are going to be a rich woman one day and you're going to be very important and you're going to have a wonderful car. She was singing all this, but many times she would sing always the same song. And then, when I started in the movies, I went back to Pozzuoli to see her, and she was in bed. And she said, you know, you remember that song that I used to sing to you? There you are, it happened. And then after a while, she died.
It's interesting in this day and age of career women. Your grandmother was very much tied to home. And yet, it's hard to imagine a stronger role model for you.
Well, because she was a real woman. I mean, this is a strong woman, not a career woman. A strong woman is a woman who just stands there and fights for her family, for her children. A career woman is a woman who just decides that she wants to have another motivation. She goes out from the house and she wants to have a life of her own. That's something else.
And what are you?
No, I'm a family woman. I'm like my grandmother.
Despite the career?
Despite the career, yeah. Of course, I am in love with my profession. I love to be in front of a camera. I love to talk to you and the camera is there and they just photograph everything. But my choice in life is my family.
And her choice for a husband was movie producer Carlo Ponti. They met at a beauty contest in Rome. Smitten by the 16-year-old, Ponti arranged her first screen test. It was captured in this rare footage.
Is it true that after your first screen test with Carlo, he told you maybe you should get some cosmetic surgery so your face would be more photogenic? Maybe
It was not
you should lose
really.
some weight? Did he
No,
really
no, I
say
was
that?
very thin then. No. No, the trouble was my nose. Not for him, but for the cameraman, it was the nose, the nose, the nose. They said I had a very long nose. I was like Pinocchio, I don't know. And I said to myself, I'm never going to change my nose. If you change your nose, your face changes. So I said, then I'm going to quit. I'm not going to do any pictures anymore.
The nose went untouched, and Sofia's relationship with Ponti grew. Older by more than 20 years, he guided her career, helped her get roles, and eventually left his wife for her. They've stayed together almost 50 years through bigamy charges from the Vatican, tax evasion charges from the Italian government, and persistent speculation from the press that their relationship was on the rocks.
Has it been a good marriage?
Oh, yes, absolutely, yes. I don't regret anything, no.
What is it that's made it last?
I don't know, maybe when a marriage lasts so long, it's because the woman wants it to. If you have children, A woman has to do everything to keep the marriage together.
And you don't expect the man to be as committed?
Oh, I mean, if he's not committed, then, I mean, you cannot do anything. But if you think that there is a spark of commitment, you should try to keep the family together.
You were determined
Oh, yes.
that this marriage would work.
Yeah, yeah. And it did. I was right. I mean, so many years went by, you think, now I'm going to divorce. It's ridiculous. No.
It was years before Sofia was able to have children. But after 2 miscarriages, she gave birth to Carlo Jr. and 4 years later to Eduardo. They're grown men now and a source of tremendous pride to a woman whose life has been filled with a who's who of leading men. Heston, Burton, Sinatra, Gable, Wayne, Brando, and of course, Cary Grant, who met Sofia after she was already committed to Ponte.
He fell in love with you.
Yeah,
Is it true he proposed?
I think he did, yes.
It's an offer a lot of women would not have been able to refuse.
I know. I've always been afraid that what I felt for Cary was something that, because I was very young, it was just infatuation. I was afraid to make a mistake for me and for him. That's why I didn't respond.
Not long after that, they shot this wedding scene for Houseboat. It was the closest Cary Grant would ever get to marrying Sofia. But Sofia says the actor closest to her heart was, like her, from the south of Italy, Marcello Mastroianni. Together they made a dozen films. In Ready to Wear, they shared the screen for the last time. It was 1994, and they were spoofing a striptease they'd shot in another movie 30 years earlier.
We were rehearsing the scene and I said, then you pick me up, and you say, why I pick you up? I can't. My back hurts, my shoulder hurts. How can I pick you up? Do you know how many years went by?
The list of her favorite co-stars would not be complete without one certain grumpy old man.
Holy moly.
Is this it taken?
The film was Grumpier Old Men, and Sofia played Walter Matthau's red-hot love interest.
He's my last love, Walter Matthau. When we met, there were fireworks in the room. Everything was going on. Everybody was laughing, and they knew that we connected right away. I don't know why, but it just happened. It just happened.
I love you.
If these outtakes are any indication, it happened over and over.
He's a criminal.
You looked like you were having fun.
We were having fun, and most of all, he was having a great deal of fun.
While filming with Matthau, she did something she has done throughout her career for the actors and crew on location. The same thing she did for us. Sofia Loren cooked pasta for everyone. Talk about seduction.
Do you believe in the old saying that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach?
Really? Why?
You feed them wonderful food.
And they love you? If you don't feed them, they don't love you?
I'm not sure that's the logical extension of that, but
Oh yes, because my grandmother used to say that if you want to capture a man, you just give him something good to eat and he will fall in love with you. Yeah,
Well, there you go.
which is the same thing. Absolutely.
For one who loves to cook and loves to eat, we asked how she keeps herself looking so great.
do you watch your weight?
I don't really have to, because I don't gain weight easily.
So what do you like to eat?
I like pasta very much.
Surprise, surprise.
I like pizza very much.
Weight may not be a problem, but Sofia says stress from overworking was last August. She was taken by ambulance to this New York hospital with an irregular heartbeat.
Was it serious?
Well, for me it was very serious. I thought I was going to die, because never anything like this happened to me.
Sofia says her doctors assured her it was not life-threatening, but she has made a change in her recipe for living.
Now I have to be careful, because I want to enjoy my family for a long time. I want to enjoy my life for a long time. I want to live for a long time.
Will you ever retire?
Why? It's such a sad word, retire. No, never. I don't think so. I'll go on and on and on.
Naturally, she says it best in Italian.
Say, vai, Sofia, vai, vai, vai. Go, go, go. Life is yours, go.